Hey y'all, everyone that can hear me, even if you're not right here. If you're way back there, how y'all doing? Okay. Hi, hey over there. So thank you all so much for being here. Just real quick, my name is Keshia Smith, and I own Kemmersive, and a part of our. I think I lost. Yes, I'm back. Okay. So a part of kind of my mission here is to create a fun and social environment for underserved communities. And I don't mean that like in some really serious way. I mean, places, communities where you don't really go out and see much attention, right, to them. So like the anime community. So I started my business last year and I started doing anime and paint events, which have been so much fun. I have not seen a lot of those out there, and I have just felt just really fulfilled in being able to create a space for the anime community to do something that is fitting for our demographic. Sometimes we don't want to socialize, but we need to get out sometimes, So just being able to paint, have fun, listen to great music is just suffices for a social, event. And it's a lot of fun and it's different, right? So I've just wanted to continue in that momentum. So this year I wanted to expand my efforts, and I really wanted to include the gaming community. South by Southwest felt like a great way and a great place to kind of launch that expansion. So if, later on, if you're not already following me, I will be, doing more events throughout the year. But anyway, just as far as where we've been so far, it has been really rewarding, and I just hope to continue to grow. And I'll talk more about that after our discussion. So I wanted to have a panel. I really wanted to create a space for people that may not know exactly where they're going, career-wise, but also may see a little bit of themselves maybe in the gaming space, or maybe they don't see themselves in the corporate space, but maybe they do, but maybe they want something different. They want to be more creative. They're not sure how to utilize and leverage all of those things, all those thoughts, all of those qualities. So I thought that it would be great to have, women, especially it's, Women's Month, from different, walks of life that have all found themselves in the gaming community, to be able to speak to us today and share some of their experiences. Now, I already knew, it's actually hilarious. I knew exactly who was going to be on this panel when I thought about, when this idea just came to mind for the first time. I knew exactly who would be here because I have, just experienced some really impactful women that have, fought and just, grown and just have decided to show up in life being free to express their creativity while, being powerhouses, at their work. So, because of that, I knew exactly who I would choose, and I'm really grateful that they all accepted and decided that they were going to share their experiences with us today. So I dubbed them the Game Changers, essentially them being, women in the gaming industry that are, revolutionizing it and giving it a face that the gaming industry and really corporate in general, tech, has not seen before. So I will give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. But first of all, just give a round of applause for these ladies real quick. Thank you all for being here also. All right. So I've talked a lot. Thank you for being here again. Thank you for listening to me. I am going to start with a quick introduction. I'm going to have these wonderful ladies introduce themselves. And after they introduce themselves, we're going to do a fun little activity to break the ice. So I'll start with Grace. Grace, tell us about you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Grace Lind. I've been working in the gaming industry for about 15 years now. I started working in UGC and metaverse spaces when I was 15 years old, working with nonprofit organizations, learning about how to spread global awareness on really impactful issues. We worked with UNICEF, American Cancer Society, things like that, to sort of just get into the space. After that, I started working in technical and customer support for video games and localization. I worked at Blizzard Entertainment as a game master or customer support agent for about 5 years. After that, I went to work at Epic Games, where I worked on their UEFN team and helped launch Unreal Editor for Fortnite. In that role, I worked very closely with the UGC creators that were creating the content in Fortnite. Epic Games unfortunately had some layoffs about a year and a half ago, which I was unfortunately included in. But after the layoffs, I joined a studio out of Tokyo, Japan that solely makes games in Fortnite. We've worked with Snoop Dogg recently, and we have a Skibbity toilet map coming out in a couple of weeks.
Hence the hoodie?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much, Grace. And I'm going to move on to Taylor, Miss Duchess Games.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Miss Duchess Games. I am a streaming personality as well as content creator. I have been doing this gaming thing in general since I was itty bitty, playing my little joystick games with my dad. And I've been a creator for several years, but about 2.5 years ago, I was like, okay. I was like, I'm making content and I don't really like it. I don't like what I'm putting out. This doesn't feel like me. I want to do something that feels like me and feels natural. And I was like, well, why not do gaming? I see people doing that. And I was like, I don't really see a lot of Black female gamers out there, let alone Black gamers. Like, it's hard to search, hard to find us. I was like, well, I mean, that's a gap I could fill, so why not? So I started it, and ever since then, it's been amazing. And I've had a really enjoyable experience, made a lot of great friends and a lot of great connections.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So we're going to move on to Maricris.
So I have been a gamer since I was probably 7 years old, but I didn't start working in the gaming industry until 4 years ago. I recruit talent for art and game design at Electronic Arts. Some of the games I hire for are Sims, Battlefield, some new games that are coming out soon that are not yet out, but Iron Man, Black Panther, Skate, and then, of course, there's the EA Sports franchise, so Need for Speed, and used to be FIFA, but now it's FC. So, yeah, I hire for all the artists and game designers.
Awesome. I will say that Plants vs. Zombies, which is big in EA, that got me through my pregnancy with Orion over there. And then he turned around and was obsessed with it for a while. So, generational impact of gaming. But thank you so much, ladies, for introducing yourselves. So let's just go ahead and get into it because I know we have a lot to talk about. But I wanted to break the ice a little bit. And I'll stay boring. I'll keep it in order. So, Grace, I'm going to ask you just a few, just quick questions,
All right.
lightning round. Don't think about it, just instinctively, okay?
Yeah.
So, it's going to be either this, that. You'll get it once I start. Anyway, so Luigi or Mario?
Luigi.
Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
Sega or Super Nintendo?
Super Nintendo.
Halo or Call of Duty?
Call of Duty.
Okay. Go ahead. You're next.
All right.
We're opposites also.
She was low-key judging while she was listening to the answers.
I was like, we can discuss this another time. But I was like, I see. Okay, noted. So, you know what? I'll do a duplicate.
Okay.
How about Halo or Call of Duty?
Halo.
Okay. Legend of Zelda or Final Fantasy? There is a wrong answer.
Final Fantasy.
Okay. Hey, it's a right answer for somebody. Crash Bandicoot or Banjo-Kazooie?
Crash Bandicoot.
You know what? That is the right answer. That is the right answer. I think that most people would agree. Okay, and finally, you know what? I'll take it back. Luigi or Mario?
Luigi.
Mine. Okay, you know what? Yes, I can agree with that. Okay. All right. Thank you. Hey, Maricris, it's your... Don't worry about it. Just it's okay. No judgment. No, besides all that judging I did earlier. So Mario 64 or Mario Odyssey?
64.
Sims or Disney Dreamlight Valley? I should have asked you.
Oh, you can't ask me that.
Tell the truth. They're not going to see.
I mean, I play Dreamlight now. But
okay.
If you're asking...
That's very diplomatic and politically... I'm just going to say Disney Dreamlight Valley. I saw it in your eyes, girl. It's okay. You ain't going to get fired. Fortnite or Minecraft?
Fortnite.
And I'm going to ask all of you all this. So just, Diddy Kong Racing or Mario Kart? This is very important.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
My God, today. Well, I guess I'm a minority, like always. All right, thank you all so much. Thank y'all. Give a round of applause. That was very vulnerable. I appreciate y'all being open in this way. All right, so we're gonna get directly to the questions. So I'm gonna ask really, at the end of the day, the economy sucks in general, right? But there is a special, niche when it comes to gaming. And I think that people are intrigued and interested, especially people that would attend an event like this, on what it takes to really break into gaming. So first things first, I'm going to ask Grace. So what inspired you to pursue a career in gaming, and how did you get your start in the industry?
It sort of just fell into my lap. Like I said, I was a teenager and I was working with nonprofit organizations.
A little louder, Grace.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I got into it really early and I formed a lot of really meaningful relationships with people in the metaverse online space, and being able to connect with people from all over the world, I think, and just form relationships like that. This was back in 2004, 2005. I think that was really impactful for me, and it taught me a lot. It opened up the world to me. And I think that's really what inspired me, is wanting to spread that around and share that with other people, learn about different communities, countries, cultures. That's really where it stemmed from, and creating a safe space for people to come together and share perspective and, just come together.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm not going to ask everyone all of the same questions. We're not going to do that. But I do want to ask the same question to you, just because you do have a special kind of place in the gaming community. So I would like to know, Miss Duchess, what exactly inspired you to get into gaming, and how did you get your start?
Absolutely. So I have a little bit of a unique start in the sense of, I used to be one of those people who's like, why would somebody watch somebody play a game? Like, that looks so boring. It's so weird. What? And one day my little brother, he was watching a creator called Berlizzi, and he was like, just come and watch it with me. And I'm like, okay, I'll come and watch it with you. And one video turned into 2, turned into 3, turned into watching it all the time with him. I'm like, wait, this is kind of funny. This is hilarious. I'm like, okay. And I've always had a love for gaming, but I never thought about myself being in a creator space, because even though I saw this creator playing these games, I didn't see anybody who looked like me, meaning a Black female gamer on the screen enjoying games. And nothing wrong with playing, cutesy or cozy games, but just enjoying all kinds of games, right? And when it came to searching on YouTube or trying to find these creators, it's so hard. Or you find the same 1, 2, 3 creators, even though there's so many out there, that's not present in the forefront when you make that search. And so, like I said earlier, I was like, okay, well, that's a gap I can fill. I can be that example, right? Be that example of what it looks like to be a creator and be a family-friendly creator. You don't have to do every single thing that everybody else is doing just to make it in this space. And so I started that journey. And since then, it's been really, I've learned a lot about myself, right? You learn that you have to kind of step outside your comfort zone in order to be a creator, but especially when you're a creator who's filling a gap, right? Somewhere where there's not a lot of people, or people don't know to search for you or to search for people like you. So it's been very rewarding, because I've gotten a chance to interact with people who are like, wow, I didn't know that you existed. I didn't know that people like you existed, people who look like me. So
I love that.
I got my start.
I will say that is, to me, especially the gift of this generation, like the generation that's, growing into adulthood, is that there is so much opportunity. It's for us too. Don't get it twisted, honey. The millennials, we could still do it in far off and beyond. It doesn't matter. But it's just great that you can just have an idea and a thought process, and there's already models out there of how it can be successful. But I will say, I definitely was in Berlizzi's DMs talking about come to this event, Berlizzi. You're going to have a good time. Don't worry about it. Just come on. And since you brought up Berlizzi, Corey Kenshin, if you watching,
we're gonna have to get Corey in here.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's paint. That's the DM. Yes. That's all I'm gonna say. He gonna know how to find me. Anyway, next he gonna see this, honey. I believe that everybody's gonna see this. So I'm gonna ask Maricris now. So what challenges have you faced as a woman in gaming, and how did you navigate them? In celebration of Women's Day.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, similar to what she said. Growing up, I didn't see people that look like me going into gaming and representing gaming. There's like a stigma of what a gamer looks like or what gender they are. And I was like, absolutely not. I have 2 sisters and we spent hours playing Nintendo 64 with our cousins and like all day and night, and staying up past our bedtime to play games. So why not women too?
Right.
So I would say being outspoken and like expressing your voice is super important.
Really important.
And supporting and lifting up others, especially other women in the gaming industry. It's something that I try to do every day in my work and try to find, I guess, like mentor others as well on how to get into the gaming industry. That's something I like to do. Like I volunteer on the side. I do consultations with people to help them like figure out how can I get into gaming. So
I love that. I will say, Maricris is someone I met years ago when I was trying to get into a global manager role with EA. And I'm telling you, like I said, I already knew who was going to be on this panel prior to this because she did such a phenomenal job of representing like just women and representing gaming. Like she really did, like to where I was inspired. And I was like, oh yeah, this woman is about her business and she has a heart to really make sure that she's creating an inclusive environment in, you know, such a competitive field. So yeah, definitely I see that reflected in you. So I am gonna unlock my phone so I can get to the next question. So I'm gonna ask all of you ladies this, okay? So building a brand, super important, especially in this, like even outside of this industry in this day and age, it's really important to have a brand established. So I'll start with Grace again. Many of you have carved out unique spaces for yourselves, whether in content creation, development, or business. So what strategies have helped you establish your brand or career?
Kindness, friendship, I think, is the biggest thing for me. I am a big Taylor Swift fan, so I'm not going to lie. But her friendship bracelets really inspired me. I think it's such a sweet idea. So now when I go to gaming conferences, I hand make bracelets related to Fortnite, the conference I'm going to specifically, whatever the city it might be, and things like that. I hand them out to everyone I meet. And I always get really, really fun reactions. People are really grateful. They remember it. I get amazing stories. Someone told me the other day that she was really sad she didn't have her bracelet anymore because she worked at a soup kitchen and an old man came in and was admiring it for like an hour and she gave it to him and he lit up and he was so happy about it. And it's just like really heartwarming stories. I think that's a really big thing. Just stay true to yourself, express your passion as well, find things that really stand out to you. When I worked at Epic, I was very active in the community, so I was talking to people on Discord constantly.
Okay.
And
that moved the Lord. Oh.
Oops. Eventually, the green heart emoji sort of became associated with me in the community. So when Epic laid me off, I started my own company called Green Heart Creative, and sort of things like that. So just find things that represent yourself really well and just hold on to them. Yeah.
The Mother Nature was moved by your response, by the way.
Or angry. I don't really know.
Kindness. Okay. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. I think that people underestimate the power of ingenuity, and we're often taught that we have to scuff that out in order to be successful. So it's really great reminder, Grace.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the biggest strategies that I've used, I've told my friends this all the time. One of the, first things is authenticity to your core. With being a creator, even having a career, one of the worst things you can do is put on a certain facade or put on this certain persona that's not truly you. Because then when you turn on the camera, when you engage with people, when you speak with people, you have to act every time you do it. And it's so draining. Sometimes we find ourselves doing that in conversations at different events. But when you really reel back in and look at why you're doing it, right? And the kind of person who you want to be and like truly recognize who you are, be truthful about that, you can show up as that, right? So when you're building your community, when you're making these connections, they're connecting with you. They're watching literally because of you. You don't have to act. And it's really cool to build a community based on that. There's something that we kind of bonded over was Disney Dreamlight Valley, right? One thing I found was I was like, I can't play these cutesy cozy games because nobody's going to take me serious as a gamer. And I was like not tapping into that side at all. But I was like, no, I actually kind of like games like that. I was like, let me try it. I actually found my community and had grown so much because of that game. That was the first cozy game I played. And I was like, wow. I was like, if I had just been myself from the jump, completely myself, not just part of myself, but completely myself, I would have grown so much more, but grown so much more, authentically, just truly being me. And it made it so much easier. I can just have much more fun, be more expressive in my streams. Because I kid y'all not, I'm literally just chit-chatting, whatever comes to my head. I'm saying it, but it's me, and that's what they're here for. So
I think that one of the messages that's been important in, I guess, my journey is, I'm going to echo what you're saying, is the fact that there is somebody that likes what you're doing. Like, if it's not the person to your left or your right, there is a person out there that is just wishing that they can see what you are. And, Taylor, speaking, of her experience, I visited her YouTube, and it's just like, tens of thousands of followers, and you just sharing your story. It's just that simple, authenticity, just being me. That many people will resonate with you. And I think that's really valuable as well.
Can I add something super quick to that?
Of course.
I'll share an experience that's part of what I learned from, right? I hit my first 1,000 subscribers. I was like, I want to grow so much more. And so I remember I did reaction videos to League of Legends, right? Mm-hmm. Do I know anything about League of Legends? No. I did these reactions. I was like, oh, it's trending. I'm like, yes, I'm going to do these reactions. I know how to edit. I did it, and my channel blew up.
I know, that's right.
That sounds great, but I don't do League of Legends. So all these people subscribe to me for League of Legends, but I don't play it. So I'm doing my streams, I'm putting my videos, I'm like, wait, why is nobody watching? Because I blew up on something that wasn't me. So the numbers didn't even match what I got from that one video or those two videos. And so that was a hard lesson learned, to just be myself. Don't try to do too much. Just be me.
Okay. Yes. I was like, okay, maybe I take it back. Whatever. Thank you so much. Authenticity, 100%. And then Maricris, just.
The question was.
I was like going to repeat it. I was like, it's been a while. So the question was, what strategies have helped you establish your brand or career?
So consistency and authenticity. So for me, it's important to be authentic and honest with people. And so my tagline is your fairy job mother, because my goal is to help people find their dream job. But, in the process, I believe in being honest with each person that I meet, each candidate. I think it's important for them to have that transparency, because, it's not easy getting into gaming, and it can be a long journey for some. Mm-hmm. I actually applied to work at EA probably 5 years before I actually got hired. So it wasn't a first time thing. So those are, I would say, the most important, in building what my personal brand is.
Absolutely. All right, ladies, I'm going to ask one more question because we are running low on time. And I'm going to ask you all again because I really value your voices. But what is one key lesson you've learned from your experience in gaming that you wish more people knew? And I mean the secrets, okay? Don't give us, I want to know some stuff that we ain't supposed to know in the public. I'm just kidding. No, just just one thing that's valuable to you.
No one knows what they're doing. They're making it up as they go. You talk to a CEO that's been in the company for 10 years and you think they have, they're on top of everything and they know everything. And it's everyone's just on the same level. Like, don't be intimidated, I guess, because it's a front. Be real with yourself and just, everyone's just going.
Yeah.
Going along with it. So, I think that's what I would say.
Okay. Any release dates on games that haven't been told yet? That's what I'm kind of going for. Don't tell us, please. I don't want you to lose your job. Thank you. Thank you. Great. All right.
Absolutely. One thing that I would two things. One is your why, understanding your why. I mean, that applies to literally anything that you do, understanding your why. Because if you don't, you'll start things, you'll start goals, projects, jobs, a channel that you're like, oh, yes. And then when it gets hard, it's hard to continue. A lot of people quit. A lot of people stop. A lot of people change because they didn't do it for the right reason. they didn't understand the reason they were doing it, you know? My why has been the biggest thing that's pushed me. And because of my why, you know, one of the biggest things I've learned has been a challenge is burnout. Burnout is very, very real, especially when you find that why, when you're so passionate about what you're doing. Sometimes it's hard to remember to take care of yourself. Sometimes it's so hard to remember that, yes, while you are this person who does all these many great things, you still got to take a step back and take care of you and understand that, you know, your community is not going to leave you because you need to take care of you. And being open and transparent about that, I talked about authenticity, right? Just being honest about that. Hey, y'all, let me take a step back a little bit, recuperate, or just incorporating that into your, you know, everyday life so that, you know, you're not burning out so bad that it takes you out. Because I've gotten sick before because of that. I've been like, streaming every day, 12 hours, 14 hours, 16, I kid you not, every single day, back to back to back. When I first started, that's what I was trying to do to make it. But the burnout was so bad. I ended up getting sick because of it. And it's like one of those things that sat me down like, whoa. You got to do better. You got to take care of yourself. And my community now fusses at me, you know, if I don't take care of myself. So that's one of the biggest things.
Can I add to my answer a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
As well? Hold on to your wins. In the game, it's a very competitive and hard industry, and there's a lot of disappointment and delays and pushback. And, you know, I worked in customer support at Blizzard, so I was, you know, harassed pretty much 24/7. So when I say hold on to your wins, those good moments, just keep them because you're going to need them in the darker times when it's rough, when it's slow, when you're going a year, you don't have a good update, people aren't responding the way you want to. Remember those moments because they're really, really important, and they help me remember why I'm doing it and why it's so important to me.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. What is your why, since you brought it up a bunch, just briefly?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said, I was filling a gap, but, you know, being a family-friendly creator is something that was very, very important to me. You know, there's nothing wrong with, you know, being yourself in your content, however you make it and get there. I don't see a lot of family-friendly creators nowadays, ever. I want to be somebody who is an example for people, for young, old, whoever, whatever race, it doesn't matter. I want to be an example that you can make it and not have to subscribe to everything that there is out on social media. So that's my why.
Love that. Thank you. All right, Maricris. So this was okay. So this was a while back. So I'll go ahead and
My brain is running.
it was basically just, what is one key lesson you've learned from your experience in gaming that you wish more people knew?
The gaming industry ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
So, you know, there have obviously, I'm going to address the white elephant in the room. There's been layoffs at almost every gaming studio out there in the last 2 years, I would say. So just know that you can work as hard as you can, but that doesn't mean that your job is promised. But, you know, like some of what they said, it's important to hold on to your wins. So remember all the hard work that you put in, and it wasn't for nothing. You know, there's people playing your games, there's people enjoying your games. Sometimes games don't work out, they don't make the revenue the company wanted, but at the end of the day, the work that you put out, it was something you should be proud of. And yeah, this is my last advice, is always be networking. Always network, always be, no matter where you are, because you just never know who you're going to meet and what opportunities are out there.
Awesome. Listen, this has been an amazing conversation. I just want to say thank you for being here. Like I said, I knew who was going to be here from the beginning because you all have stood out to me just through your journeys and just what you've contributed, not only to my life, but to the industries that you're a part of. So let's give them one more round of applause. Thank you all so much. These are the game changers, y'all. Oh. Okay, listen, there is free merch as well. So there's free EA water bottles. I didn't even know. What a surprise. So please just see Maricris and she will help you get one. We have a little bit of time left, so I would love to hear some questions. Don't be shy. This is about authenticity, okay? So be yourselves. I see my cosplayers in the back. How y'all doing? I appreciate it. Thanks for coming. All right, Miss Lady, you have a question? Okay, so you know what? Can I move it?
I can come to you. Oh, yeah. Hi, guys. You've been so inspirational. And I know being women in the industry, comes with a lot of perhaps challenges and pet peeves. What are some of your pet peeves right now in today's day and age?
Just in general, I guess. I can answer. I can also answer that. I have tons of pet peeves. I don't like when games get promised and they don't come out. I'm not gonna mention the game, but I don't like that. I'm getting my hopes up. But truly, I don't like when people go back on their word. Just a lack of integrity. It's a little hard for me to track what I could do, like track my landscape. So, no integrity, bad. I appreciate those that come through. But what about y'all?
One of the biggest things, we've talked about today is authenticity, right? And so I like that she talked about networking, right? In this space, you do a lot of networking, and sometimes people aren't truly authentic about what they're networking for. And then the connections that they make, that can make it hard. That can make it hard in this space when when you finally break into a space and you're like, okay, yes, I'm making friends, I'm making connections, but when people aren't authentic, right? Or when people don't take you seriously because you're a female gamer or because you're a new gamer or a new creator, right? That's one of the biggest things that I tell people to have grace. You never know where somebody's starting or why they're starting, but you also never know what they're going to become either. Don't connect with people just because you think they're going to be something great, but you also never know. So, treating everybody with that same respect, and with that same curiosity of getting to know somebody, because you just never know who you're going to meet, and you never know who you're going to connect with, right? Just by chance, because the way we connected, was simply by me connecting with somebody who was a volunteer at an event. I didn't even know her. I didn't know how much she did, how much she had her hands in, right? But I was just like, you know what? Let me stop and thank her for what she's doing today and just connect, say hi, what's your name? And that led to, me meeting her and being here today. So
yeah, awesome.
This is tough. I think kind of falls in line with what you're saying is be yourself, trust people, find what their motives are, I guess, in a way, try and understand their point of view, where they're coming from, and how you can help each other. In the Fortnite scene, a lot of the creators are young. Obviously, it's a younger, game, and people are 17, 18 and able to go in and create their own content and making millions of dollars at a very young age. And, there's a lot of drama in that kind of community. So I think, that's sort of my pet peeve is that, people can come in with the wrong intentions, or in Fortnite specifically, there's a lot of people stealing and copying code and things like that. So, give everyone a chance, a fairness, opportunity, but, be careful and trust your gut is also important, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And Maricris.
When I think of pet peeves, I think of some things candidates do that they are not aware of.
This is good. Okay.
So if you're applying to jobs and you reach out to a recruiter, you should always provide as much information as you can about what type of job you're looking for and your background and your experience. Often I'll get hundreds of messages with, "What job do you have for me?" And what job do I have for you? This person doesn't even have a gaming background, and they're just a random person from a random place, not even where I hire out of. And it's that's not a help. I can't answer 100 messages with the same question. You need to come to me with your job ID number and your domain area, what type of art you do or what type of work you do, and your resume. Don't just shoot off to 100 recruiters saying, "What job do you have for me?" Because that's not how you introduce yourself.
Right.
Adding on to that, when I was working at Epic, I can't tell you how many times I would get DMs from UGC content creators "Can you help me?"
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sure. Okay, and then 2 days later, Never mind.
And
Oh no, more rounds? Okay.
One more piggyback. That's this kind of the same thing when it comes to collaborations. If you want to work with a creator, big or small, when someone tells me, "Oh, I would love to work with you," I'm like, "Okay." And they're like, they don't say anything. They don't say what game they want to play. They don't have any ideas. And I'm like, I don't mind working with anybody, playing anything. But, come with an idea. Don't put all the work on me. If you come to me with an idea, like, okay, what would you like to do? That's the biggest thing. And it's a big way to establish yourself professionally in this space, to have an idea, to come with, okay, this is what I would love to do with you. Here's a game I'd love to play. Here's an idea. Here's how it would, this would be great for both of our channels or for our content. Because don't ask me to play a game I don't even ask me to play GTA. You ain't never seen a GTA video, on my on my channel, and
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my.
Yeah, so in summary, keep it real and be for real. Like just be so for real. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for your question. Any other questions? Yeah, come up here. Okay, come on now. Hi, and what's your name?
Codera. Yeah. I can hold it. Okay. I came a little late. I don't know if you got to it already, but I was wondering, what are your top 3 games of all time? I know that's a hard question. And it could be a series as well. Like, you could just say the series, if it's all 3 or all 4.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, I guess I do. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, admittedly, I'm a cozy gamer. I don't play combat games and stuff like that. So Spiritfarer was one of my favorites. Most definitely pulled on all the emotional strings. Animal Crossing. I'm like this close to getting an Animal Crossing tattoo. And the third, I would say, honestly, just like I can't pick a third, but I'd say like I like the Mario franchise.
Yeah. That's like a million games, but we catch you. Catch your drift.
Absolutely. So my top 3 is definitely my first game. I was like, yes, I bought this at the store. I love this game. Skyrim. Yes, that's my game. Skyrim. Fortnite. I've always been a Fortnite girl. And then a game that I recently started playing within like the past 6-7 months, Disney Dreamlight Valley. I love that game to the death of me. An honorable mention is the Poppy Playtime franchise, because I love a good horror game.
Ooh, that is dark.
But it's so good. It's so good. It's the Lifetime movie girl in me. I'm sorry.
All right, so I'm not going to say Fortnite. We're just going to take that as obviously. I grew up on Pokemon. So Pokemon is like Pokemon Red. I'm going to, Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Snap. Those games were my jam as a kid. So definitely Pokemon. I'm also very much a cozy gamer. So Animal Crossing, since GameCube I've been playing. And then currently I've been playing Palia, which I am obsessed. I think it's one of the best MMOs that's pretty much ever come out. And I think this goes back on the whole friendship and kindness thing. I've never been in an MMO that's so nice. Like everyone in the group, there's no toxicity in the in-game chat. Everyone's there to help and friends, and it's just really, really refreshing for an MMO, especially, like I said, coming from Blizzard and being tasked to read through trade chat and all of that stuff. So yeah, those would be my 3.
Nice. Okay, I want to answer too. Okay, this is my son. He's probably attest to this. So Paper Mario is a really big deal for me, like the original, the first Paper Mario. I think my son knows, like, when it gets a little cold outside, I'm like, okay, it's time for my annual replay of Paper Mario. So the next one is a recent one. It's called A Wolf Among Us. It was by Telltale. That game, just chef's kiss. I don't know if y'all have heard of it, but just really good. I would say Banjo-Kazooie for my 3rd. That's my game. Any other questions? Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I think this was a robust conversation. Any last words? Or are we going to wrap it up? We can just wrap it up. Okay, Corey Kenshin, DMs, like I said earlier. You're going to bring it back. All right. Thank y'all so much for being here. And, I do have an announcement. I have a thing. So there is a reason for this gathering, not only to, bridge the gap in just social events, bringing the anime community together and such, and gaming community. So I have big plans. So I initially started this business Oh, okay. Yeah, she got big plans. I thought she was like, girl, bring it down. No, that's T. Okay, different. You know, I'm an elder millennial. Okay, so you gotta excuse me. So I do have big plans, you guys. So when I first established this business, Kemmersive, my mission was to, just create inclusivity for the anime community. I went out one day and I was like, I hate it here. And I was like, why do I hate it here? Because I don't see myself outside. Like, I just see myself inside with my loved ones, whatever. But I would like to see myself, in certain social environments. So I said, I'm going to create that. I'm going to make that happen. I'm going to change something here. And I have not hated it here ever since. And I know some people that have, been really supportive of my business, and I just hope to continue to reach more people. But kind of what I was working towards from the beginning is that I wanted to create a brick and mortar, a place, like an actual, you could say, an anime bar, cafe environment where we could really, just harness that, right? That energy, that individuality, the anime community, and just create a hub for us. And so that is what I am building right now. As you can see, I've had this around my finger. This is the QR code for my Kickstarter. If you look at some of these other signs, all of the QR codes point toward the Kickstarter. I'm going to launch it today. It'll be, free for the public to invest in. But I am trying to raise funds so that I can open an anime bar here in Austin. Do not steal my idea. And I'm not talking to y'all because y'all would never do that. I'm talking about to the world right there in the camera. Don't do that, okay? Y'all ain't gonna be able to do it like I will anyway. But I have this. If you see me and you'd like to invest, you can start with $10 for all I care, or you can go up to $5,000. That means that you're the Hokage, okay? Like you rule the hidden leaf, okay? And that means that you're big money. But if you're little money or, big money, but you ain't trying to invest all that much, please feel free. Find a QR code in any of these stations and, it'll lead you to the Kickstarter. But, things are changing and we're including more people in areas that have never been included before. And I really, really love this community. And I think that I know that I would do a hell of a job in just being able to harness that. And it's not only, for fun, there are businesses, there are creators, there are people that have, passions. And I think that this could be a great environment for us and a great opportunity for us to get together and just change this city, change the world, really. We could change the world, honey. It could be more like Japan here. And I know some of us want that. Anyway. So thank you all for being here. Like I said, find me if you'd like to invest or if you just want to talk. I'm cool with talking as well. And enjoy the festivities. We got some drinks over there. We have like an anime and gaming themed bar set up. You'll see, it's pretty clever. I came up with it myself. And you may or may not see that at the anime bar. But if we see it, what I'm saying? That depends on us. But either way, we're going to get it. Anyway, thank you all for being here. Have a good time. We're going to start the music up again. There's going to be some activities happening. We have some amazing vendors. Invest in them. Get your face painted. This is a time for individuality, okay? Don't try to be too cool, okay? We're not cool. We're anime people. We're nerds. So get your face painted, okay? We have a lovely vendor here to do that. We have some great press-ons and nails. We have anime rugs. When have you seen that? Go invest. Go check it out. Go see how cool it is. We have Rich's art gallery here as well. He has some amazing art at his gallery, but he also has some for display here. I hope I have not missed anyone, Lord, please. Pixel Haven is going to do a Who's That Pokemon game. So everybody has liked Pokemon at some point, even if you're not into anime. So go check it out. That's her right there. She has a business right next to UT. It is a good time. So go check in with her. Go get you a drink. Go have fun, okay? Okay. Thank y'all so much again. This is good.